Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome to Tuesday's video, and this is a little bit of a review of Black Widow. So as you know, Black Widow Deadly Origin was put into the game for CCP review. Now I get to review this and it doesn't get to be kept in my account, and as well, just going to clarify a few points. No, it's not allowed to be used in Alliance Wars, Alliance Quest, any paths that any of us in the CCP have already done. It has to be content that we've already previously done rather than anything new, and as well Arena as well. I do get asked that a few times, obviously, just to clarify that point. But this champion is, I'd love to say it's completely different. It definitely has mechanics that are there, but there are some things that really require some very quick movement and as well quick thinking, which was hinted to in the spotlight, basically saying that it's a high sustained damage by utilizing Widow's Insight and Black Widow's Shock debuff. Players consistently sustain high amounts of damage. This is possible only if the player consistently strikes the opponent while Widow's Insight is active. And even though this is possible to do, it is a case that at times it felt like it was a lot of hard work in order to achieve this, and obviously this doesn't really play to my own play style, but I'm sure that other players are going to absolutely love this. One of the best things about this champion has got to be that shock debuff. Now off the SP1 it does a nice 1340 over 13 seconds, and as well the SP2 looks to put 2546. Not to mention the fact passively she's able to put in a lovely amount of energy damage. And as well, if you're smart to utilize when you actually hit the opponent with Widow's Insight being active, you can increase shock ability accuracy by flat 60%. So you're going to see a good amount of shock damage. Really handy against certain fights. Variant 3 end boss kind of a counter, possibly. Definitely, actually. Now, at the point of recording this video, I actually turned off Suicide Masteries as I felt it wasn't really working well with the Grandmaster fight that I was currently doing at the time. Obviously, other people do have that and obviously run it completely fine. But for me, I made the decision to take it off. But there could have been a really good opportunity to find out whether or not Suicide Masteries and this champion work out well. From other people's discussions on this, I think that's the case. It does. And damage output definitely looks tastier on the screen and on paper. Now, this helpful synergy here does reduce down the extent of damage from the bleed effect from Double Edge. So it would be quite nice to go, right at the start of the battle, let's kind of have Hawkeye in on synergy, kill off Hawkeye, and that means you got 20% dealing with that early bleed from the Double Edge, which look is incredibly handy. You don't want to be constantly having to each and every battle revive or kind of like heal up champions because they're suffering from the extent of Suicide Masteries, in particular obviously the Double Edge. Now through the course of the battle you'll see yourself building up Widow's Insight, and obviously what happens when you reach the max of 50? Does it actually mean and benefit you in any kind of way? No, unless you're utilizing the SP3, which obviously is quite important for anybody that's running Suicide Masteries, because let's face it, you don't want to be recoiling so much damage off the back of the SP1 and the SP2. So yeah, what does the SP3 do, and then how does it work in conjunction with Widow's Insight? For every 5 stacks of Widow's Insight gained since last activating the special attack, creates a passive cruelty, increasing critical damage rating by 409.64 for 30 seconds. Obviously this is starage and rarity specifics. Obviously that will be a different number that will change throughout. Widow's Insight is reset to 0 after launching a special attack. And that's the point to then go, right, well, what do I do next? Is it kind of be more effective for me to throw an SP2? Because obviously that deals or would deal the more damage. Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Maybe you're going to instead kind of wait a little while with that 30 seconds and try and build stuff back up with Widow's Insight, and as well look to utilizing just a ramping up the precision and trying to maximize damage output. Of course, those could be very good options for you when you're looking to output a lot of damage, but that is up to you how you choose to play this champion, because there's going to be other things that are going to be more applicable to utility factors that could be great counters for different champions. This is where I largely came unstuck with the champion, and that is where the mechanics are with the evade side of things. And it's not really my style, and that's the thing. When it's difficult to kind of go, right, well, I've now got to change my play style to be quite passive to a point where I've got to keep my finger off the block, because effectively we're going to have this kind of a counter-attack evade, and you know, it's not going to trigger while holding the block. It's something that I don't really like here. I'm always about being on the front foot rather than the back foot, so it was difficult to get my head around it. An interaction with The Guillotine 2099 fight I'll probably put up over the top of this. Just going to showcase that, and even though that it seemed to work out quite well, countering that miss, which was a nice mechanic, no diss against that, but the fact is it's just not speaking to my playstyle to actually kind of change the way I do things, and that is one thing that I didn't really resonate too much with this champion. Now I gave a little test of the sabotage debuff, but didn't really find it to be as effective as maybe it's been advertised, but that's the thing, maybe other players will find more usage out of it in different areas. But even on the Spotlight, it claims that going up against the likes of the Thing or maybe Hulk would be good examples to fight, but it's really one of these things where it's not as easy to trigger off, and when it does, I don't think it does as much as we'd really hope it would. At the end of the day, my thoughts on Black Widow Deadly Origin is a good champion. It's just not a champion for me. It doesn't speak to my playstyle at all, and as well, like, I don't like the counter evade side of things. The Widow's Insight could have been something completely different that built up, similar to like a combo meter that had things inbuilt into it. I tried to trigger off stuff when it comes to the heavy hits and 100% chance to inflict the stun debuff. Didn't see that working too well, and I did try really hard to make sure that worked. The precision buff build up, and as well factoring in maybe an SP3 once your Widow's Insight is reached up to 50, is quite nice, and you do see some good damage. Obviously better with Suicide Masteries. A good champion that could be good utility against some certain champions. I didn't think the sabotage debuff was much cop, and as well when it comes to the miss and kind of going up against champions that throw miss, yeah, it's good, but again, same principle. If you're used to holding your block and say you're a bit of a cagey fighter, going out to attack and being like finger off there to trigger off that evade, I don't know if people are going to overly enjoy that. Either way, thoughts in the comment section. You know, I'm sure that other people will enjoy this, but it's just not a champion for me. And there we go. That has been a video. Check out some of the on-screen content at the moment that has been recently posted on the channel. Make sure to check out my Marvel Realm of Champions channel, which is the bottom left-hand corner. And as well, obviously, if you want to give some support to the channel, please hit the right-hand button as well. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.